Hi guys, and welcome to a different kind of video. I've been inspired in the last few weeks to start a reading journal. And before we get too farther into this, yes, I'm still sick. I'm sorry I sound like it. And also my boys are playing a car video game in the other room and they're very excitable, so their voices might come through. But, oh well, like I said, first of all, candle. Oh, and this is the electric kind of candle lighter, and it looks like a mini taser, which my 5-year-old calls a zippy zap gun. Anyway, I have been sick the last week and been binge watching all the reading journal videos, so I'm not going to link all the ones I've been inspired by below. But I will say that Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, it was her video, her 2023 flip through, that made this all seem doable. So I will put her channel below because she's the main inspiration here, but I've watched a lot of videos, you guys. So if I would have been really on top of things, I would have got this out like a month ago to share with you guys, but I've been working on this as I have been struggling through this cold, fever, all the things. If things don't make sense, I'm partially just going to blame the fever for that because I was definitely working on this while I wasn't feeling good. I'll try to leave as many things as I can linked below. This book I got from the Dollarama. It's not the best book. Obviously it says sketch. I think I'm going to put some stickers over this so that it doesn't say sketch. But this is what I could find in without a whole lot of notice, without buying things online. So this is not what I'm going to use in future years if I stick with this, but it's what I'm using right now. Anyway, let's get into this. So I started out with a little intro page here. So obviously I have my reading journal information there, and then this page I'm just going to be adding stickers as I want. I bought this from a shop, which I will also leave linked below because I forget what it is right now, a while ago, and I didn't know where to put it, but I thought if I put it in here, I can see it for an entire year, and I love it. So I went with a bit of a vintage theme because Katie actually also so happened to get me in a Christmas gift exchange that we were doing, and she sent me a lot of like vintage ephemera stuff, papers, and stickers. So I used a lot of those in here as well. And then I also used this ephemera tin, and Katie also sent me some washi tape, and then I also own some other vintage washi tape that I use throughout this. But it's obviously a very Katie inspired reading journal. So here, this is pretty basic. This is my goals page. I figured we would start out with a goals page. You'll notice there are lots of mistakes throughout, like I don't know how to spell apparently, and then I think this is actually 13 boxes. Whatever, we'll just go with it. There are mistakes aplenty, but I wanted to have my main reading goals here. I didn't list all of them because it just would have taken up too much space. And then I also wrote down my main like booktube business type goals on this side. A few of these things I have already completed, so I need to fill these in. I just haven't fully committed on what color I'm using for that. I tried some out, you'll see later on here, but yeah, so I just have to come back in and cross a few things off. So that's how this looks. I like having this at the beginning because I like looking back on my goals frequently to see what it is that I'm trying to accomplish for the year. Unlike a lot of people, I did not do a spread in here that was like read 100 books or anything, because I always read over 100 books and I don't want to concentrate on the number. I think I always put it in Goodreads as 100 just to throw a number out there, but yeah, I don't try to read any number of books. One thing I did have to do with this book is glue pages together. These pages are very thin, so every page has been glued together. Now Tolkien also wants to join us. And I wish it would be a dot grid paper. It's not, once again, just worked with what I had. It's not the best, but it does work. So here I have a series tracker. Obviously, I am reading more series than just Mrs. Polifax. So I need to come back and fill this in and decorate it a little bit, but without a dot grid, it's really hard to do this properly. So I'm trying to think of if there's an easier way to do this for myself in the future while I do the rest of my series here, but this is where I'll be tracking all the series that I'm in the middle of / want to finish. So this page is pretty blank right now, but it should look better in a few months. Now we've got new releases. One thing I am trying to do this year is share my anticipated releases with you guys. I already did one for January, February, and March. And so I want to keep doing that because I want to support authors that I'm excited to read their books, have read previous books, or like a new to me author. Originally I wrote down the dates that the books were coming out, and then I decided I actually don't like that. What I would like to do is boxes, so I can actually check them off after I've read them. So that's how I'm doing these, and I don't know how I will indicate if I've read these ones or not, but whatever, live and learn, right? So I did like I think this is called a Dutch door, where you cut it out so that you can use the same title. Obviously there's not very many books yet for the end of the year, but as they announce different books, I'll fill that in. So that's my new releases page. Then this is going to be my Read Your Bookshelf challenge page. And I have a bunch of stuff I want to print for this, but my printer is out of toner. And so I think I'm just going to get some stuff printed from Staples and then come back and work on this. So this page is obviously very boring right now, but the Read Your Bookshelf challenge, because it's my own readathon challenge thing, I want this page to be good, so this one's coming. Then I'm going to be doing my fiction TBR, and I did share a video sharing the 12 fiction books I want to read this year, and so I want to print those covers out from Staples as well. Obviously, since I've been sick, I haven't actually gone and picked them up, but that will be coming there. Then I want to add in all the different readathons that I'm going to be doing throughout the year. And so the Buzzwordathon is one that I've shared that I'm going to be participating in. Somewhere in here I want to squeeze in what I actually read for the prompts as well. January I ended up just finding a poem. So thank you, I think it was Ashley that mentioned she was going to do a poem for that one, because I couldn't find a book on my shelves or a short story. So I went with a poem that had the word, I think it was this kind of there. Yeah, so I'm going to be working on that throughout the year. Then I have a page for my literature degree, and obviously I need to fill this out a little bit more. Some of these I have already read, some of them I'm in the middle of reading, so I'm going to be working on that this year. And then we go into my January spread. Now I realized I missed a few pages that I would have liked before this, but once again, live and learn, so we'll get into those. I shoved them after my January. So I decided just to continue with the vintage theme. I also each month want to include the sticker that goes along with my House of Dreams tier on Patreon. So every month I send out 2 postcards and a sticker, and this is the sticker for January. So I thought that worked really well with the vintage theme, the nice watercolor hot cocoa there. So obviously I just have January here, and then this page, this is really my like priority TBR. I wrote the word mains just because priority was really long and I just wanted something shorter. So my main things for this month are the Read Your Bookshelf challenge, my Patron of the Month pick, my Agatha Christie book club, and a buddy read that I'm doing with Penny and Tiffany, which is the Pickwick Papers, although we're reading that over January and February. And then I want a space to track my YouTube stats and my Instagram stats. Honestly, they're not things that I'm like working on necessarily growing, except that I'm constantly putting content out, so it makes sense that they would grow. But I really like seeing how things grow and tracking the numbers a little bit. So this is just a fun way to do that. So these are my numbers at the start of the month, and then I'll come in at the end of the month and put the final numbers down. Then this was not all of the books on my TBR this month. You guys, my video, when I started writing them out, there was way too many books on my list. So I wrote down some of the books that I had on my TBR. I have filled in some that I've already finished. I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing with the books that I DNF. I need a different color for them. So I have my TBR page. And then I'm also, tomorrow, as of filming this, tomorrow is the last day for the Read in the New Year readathon that Holly and Oshina are doing. I should write Holly and Oshina's names on here, actually. So they had a bunch of different prompts, and they mean different things. So like lose weight is a common New Year's resolution, and so they said to read a book under 250 pages. So I read Cat Among the Pigeons. So I like the idea of having my readathons in here as well. And then this page I realized I should have had before January. I want to have all the covers of my Agatha Christie book club books here, and I want them in the editions that I own them. I do not own them all in like the best looking editions, but I just think it'd be cool to have like the actual editions that I read from here. So I will print out 12 covers, also from Staples, and glue them in here, and then I'll come back and do the star ratings throughout the year. So that's what that page is going to be. And then we've got Krista's Christian read-along that she just announced. She's doing a different book every quarter, and I want to participate because the Screwtape Letters I want to reread, and C.S. Lewis is actually my mentor for my literary degree. And then The Hiding Place I love and want to reread. Hind's Feet on High Places is on my classics TBR, which I think I need to put my classics TBR here because I don't have a page in this book for that. And Adorning the Dark is a book that I love and have raved about, and many people read because of me, so I think by November I'll be ready for a reread. So that's what that is. And then yeah, I think this will be my classics TBR. I did think about the other day that there was something that I was going to put here, and I forgot what it was, but that's what it is. And then I will be doing my January wrap up here. So I probably also should have put, this should have been my January wrap up, and then I should have had these other pages. But like I said, I've been doing this while being sick, fevers, multiple days. My brain has not been functioning very well. But I think it's turning out pretty good. I think I'm excited for how it's going to look at the end of the year. I think just doing, you know, a spread and then the TBR each month plus any readathons I'm doing, and then I'll have a wrap up. I think that just feels so much more doable doing that each month instead of designing it all right now. If I were to have to go do spreads for each month of the year right now, it's too much for me. It overwhelms me. And then what I want to do too is every month maybe pick a different like theme. So this was vintage. Maybe in February I will do something different. And I like that I don't have to be tied to something in particular, and I can use a variety of my different supplies that I have, my stamps and my stickers and all my papers. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to have it as a keepsake at the end of the year. I definitely don't recommend this particular book. These pages are so thin. This is pre-gluing them together. And then also I've been pulling out a couple pages because it's going to get too thick by the end of the year. But overall, I think it's going to work well. It's going to be a good first year in a reading journal, and I'll learn a lot. I'm excited to give this a try, and if you guys are doing a reading journal, I would love to hear about it. Leave a link to your video. I may have watched it in the last week. I definitely didn't comment on every video that I did watch. Yeah, and hopefully this just makes it feel a little bit more approachable if you guys have been as overwhelmed as I have. And stick around. My plan is to share my monthly spreads and setup each month. Because we are getting close to the end of January here already, February's probably won't come until partway through February, but then hopefully a little bit before each month maybe I can share what it looks like. So I hope you guys are up for the journey. So thanks for joining me today.